We got a lot to talk about on today's videos. We're going to break down the idea of Tommy DeVito being the franchise quarterback for the New York Football Giants going forward. But I want to ask you this question. If you had to pick a quarterback going forward to be the guy for Big Blue, who would it be? Type 15 for Tommy Cutlets or 8 for Daniel Jones. Tommy effing Cutlets does it again. His second game-winning drive, and he was cold as ice when the Giants needed him to be. What a way for him to finish that game. 57-yard drive, 93 seconds to go, got the team down in field goal position. And I think I've already been asked 25 times since the game wrapped up on Monday night. Yo, Marsh, did we find our Brock Purdy and Tommy DeVito? We're going to break that idea. Did the Giants find their future franchise quarterback in Tommy DeVito? First off, I think I kind of, once again, as I've apologized multiple times, but he continues to keep playing better and better and better. I was wrong about Tommy DeVito. I said he was the worst quarterback in the National Football League, and I could not be more wrong. Tommy made some big plays last night, man. Like, those just weren't plays that any person in the world playing the quarterback position could make. What about the throw to Hodgins? What about the throw to Wan'Dale Robinson? He was great. And the foot speed, the ability to be a threat on the ground when nobody was open in the first half, a 57-yard drive to ice the game to get Fat Randy in position to send you home with a victory, number 5 of the season on Monday Night Football at MetLife Stadium with all your family in the crowd and your agent going crazy, kissing each other. He was cold as ice. The 32-yard pass to Wan'Dale Robinson that got the Giants in field goal range was absolutely sick. He was getting pressured from the outside, was not phased, stepped up, and threw a dart to the right sideline, kept him in bounds, let him get a little bit of a yak opportunity. That was elite stuff. What about the touchdown throw to Isaiah Hodgins? There's not many people in this world that could take the ball, hitch up in the pocket, look to the left, and then roll to the right, and under pressure, running out of bounds, throw a perfect ball right here to Hodgins as he goes out of bounds. These aren't Cinderella-type plays. These aren't plays where you're like, oh, the Giants were lucky. That was just luck. The guy just, no. These are big-time throws that Tommy DeVito is making. And it's not just this week against the Green Bay Packers. Go back to the game against the New England Patriots. What about all the deep shots he threw to Jalen Hyatt in that game? The pocket mobility, the ability to stay square, but also buy extra time while moving in the pocket. 17 of 21, 158 yards and a touchdown, and he gave you a little bit of juice on the ground. 10 carries, 71 yards, a long run at 26 yards. But it goes so much deeper than just the performance on the field and the stats for Tommy DeVito. Sometimes the most important thing about being a quarterback is having your teammates believe in you. No matter what, you're not going anywhere in this league if your team doesn't believe in you. We saw last night that this New York Giants team absolutely believes in Tommy DeVito, and how could you not after seeing what he's done over the last couple of games? Has the Giants on a 3-game winning streak, and the numbers don't lie. Got 8 passing touchdowns, thrown just 3 interceptions. He's got another $154 on the ground with another tutty there. He's completing almost 66% of his passes. And it's not just a story in New York anymore. He's playing like one of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League somehow. When you look at the highest passer ratings across this league in the last 4 weeks, Tommy DeVito is 2. And he's the only quarterback in the last 3 games that they have played to have over 100 passer rating. It's just crazy stuff that he continues to do. Whenever you think he's down and out, missed a couple of throws, starts to look like the UDFA, he says, hold this. But you know what? Let's not compare him against guys like Brock Purdy and Dak Prescott. I think it's a whole lot more fair if you compare him to other quarterbacks that entered the draft at the same time as him. So let's look at his rookie colleagues in the National Football League. Everyone told me how good this quarterback draft class was. So many top guys. Tommy DeVito is number 2 in the NFL in passing touchdowns amongst rookies. He's got just as many as Bryce Young, the number 1 pick. And he's got more than Will Levis. If any other first-round rookie quarterback is doing what Tommy DeVito has done, that franchise in the media would be saying the Giants and that team have found their franchise quarterback. Maybe we do need to take the UDFA blinders off. Maybe we do need to do that and just judge him for the production that he has. Because it is hard to argue right now that one, like, it's incredible. My mind is literally blown. Like, I keep on going to the fact, like, is this just another Linsanity type of thing? But this place seems sustainable. Show him some love. Get the gabagoos in the chat. Spam the comments. Get them loaded down below. I will say this. Tommy DeVito being the starting quarterback for the New York Giants in the 2023 season makes a lot of sense for a couple of different reasons. And some of those reasons may be different than you are thinking. I'll break down why I believe that makes some sense for the Giants. But first, I got to give a huge shout out to today's sponsor, Prize Picks. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use the promo code CLNS, and Prize Picks will match your initial deposit up to $100. All you do is create a lineup of 2 to 6 players, and you just choose more or less on their projected stat line. NFL, NBA, college football, college basketball, MLB coming back up around the corner. Prize Picks is the easiest and number one way to play daily fantasy sports. I'm a huge fan. Makes game days more interesting, and it's always fun when you win a little bit of cheddar. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS, promo code CLNS. Alrighty. Why do I think that it makes sense that Tommy DeVito is the starting quarterback for the New York Giants? Obviously, what happens over the next couple of weeks is going to be a pivotal piece of information that is going to factor into that equation. But let's start with this. The quarterback on the Giants roster that has paid the most money and is looked at as the starting quarterback is hurt. He is battling back from an ACL injury. He just had ACL surgery. So I think step one of what I mean is Daniel Jones going to be ready to go week one? You look at what other quarterbacks did once they tore their ACL and the amount of time it took them to get back on the playing field. Kyler Murray went from week 14 to week 10 the following year. Joe Burrow would be the similar timeline that Daniel Jones is trying to follow, where he got hurt in week 11 and was ready to go with week 1. Jimmy Garoppolo took almost an entire 365 days. Deshaun Watson almost was also a timeline that, Daniel Jones is going to try to follow. And then Carson Wentz, one of the fastest recoveries we've ever seen. Hurt in week 14, ready to go in week 3. So let's say this. Daniel Jones is not ready to go for the first couple of weeks. So you start Tommy DeVito next year as your starting quarterback. If he's good, he keeps the job. If he struggles, Daniel Jones then slides in when he is healthy. It literally just kind of makes a little bit too much sense. I mean, what else does Tommy DeVito have to show to at least be considered as the potential starting quarterback for the Giants next year? What if he goes and beats the Eagles? What if he goes on the road and beats a tough New Orleans Saints defense? What if he outduels Matthew Stafford against the Rams? And what if he finds a way to get this team back in the playoffs? I think another important piece of this is Brian Daboll loves Tommy DeVito. Did you see the embrace after the Giants won and Randy Bullock made the kick? I mean, Daboll was hugging him and DeVito was hugging him. And have you ever seen him hug Daniel Jones like that? Have you ever seen him look at Daniel Jones like that? Look, if Brian Daboll develops Tommy DeVito, he is going to go down as one of the smartest NFL minds in the world. And if you don't think there's a little piece in Brian Daboll's mind, maybe it's his ego talking, saying, I could do this. I can make Tommy DeVito a good quarterback. And these are highly competitive people. They like to prove points, and they all have egos. What I do love the most about Tommy DeVito is he's gotten better every single game. When you watch the film in the first part of the season, he was a deep shot guy or nothing. Deep shot or sack. He was slow to go from point A to point B, from zone read 1, 2 to 3, or to work its way down. Held on to the ball too long. He didn't get sacked last night. He didn't get sacked against the Green Bay Packers. Where did Tommy Wheels come from? I've watched every snap of this team. I didn't see anything that told me Tommy DeVito could run for 80 yards in a game. And he did. Do I think that Tommy DeVito is better than Daniel Jones? I don't know. But when I look at the numbers, and I look at the production, and I look at the way the teams rally around each individual, it's hard to say that Daniel Jones is better than Tommy DeVito. You look at their stats through the 2023 season. They've both played in 6 games, completing at both around 66, 67% of his passes. Daniel Jones has a little more passing yards. Look at the touchdown-to-interception ratio. 2 passing touchdowns for Daniel Jones. He also did that with a healthy Darren Waller. I can't wait to watch Tommy DeVito play next week against the Saints if Darren Waller comes back. What about the interceptions? Rookie quarterbacks aren't supposed to be able to take care of the ball like DeVito has. Daniel Jones continues to play like a rookie when it comes to taking care of the football. But I already can hear you now. Marshall, the offensive line. It's the same O-line. Tyree Phillips is the right tackle. It ain't that good of an offensive line. Don't use that. You don't sound smart. What about the yards per attempt? A whole yard higher for Tommy DeVito because he ain't scared. This is my take on who I think is better. The offense should look drastically different when a $40 million quarterback is replaced by a rookie UDFA. And it just hasn't. And maybe it might have even looked better without Daniel Jones. And that's a problem. And that is a problem. I don't want to pick on Daniel Jones. I don't want to be mean to Daniel Jones. But I've seen enough. Maybe it's just time to roll with the kid. If you don't want to roll with Tommy DeVito, and there is a quarterback that you fall in love with in the NFL draft process, you would be picking 8th at this current moment. And that could easily change. Still got 2 really good, tough games against an Eagles team that's really good. You play a tough Rams team. The Saints are no slouch, especially when you travel down to New Orleans. And the Giants do have draft capital to trade up. They got that extra 2nd-round pick from the Seattle Seahawks. They got that extra 5th-round pick from the Seattle Seahawks. They're going to have 3 picks inside the top 50. So if there's a quarterback that the Giants fall in love with, they can go and make a move for a guy. What I think is a little more possible is this. The Giants roll with Tommy DeVito as their penciled-in starter with a healthy Daniel Jones waiting in the wing, and it gives you a chance to beef up this roster. Gives you a chance to use a top 10 pick on a position player. Gives you a chance to use 3 picks inside the top 50 to help this team outside of that quarterback position. It is going to be an interesting next 5-6 months for this New York Giants team. What about if they draft a quarterback in the 3rd round? We were told that they loved Hendon Hooker last year. And what I've seen with how the Giants have been able to develop Tommy DeVito, I've always been the guy that believes that you only draft quarterbacks in the 1st round because if you didn't believe in them, if you believed in them, you wouldn't have waited that long to take them. But with how he being Brian Daboll and Mike Kafka, made Daniel Jones look really good last year, and now he's making Tommy DeVito look really good this year, maybe you take a dart throw on someone in one of that 3rd and 4th round. Maybe a Spencer Rattler. Maybe somebody like that. Maybe you take someone with a high upside. I don't know. I know this, though. You should be subscribed to Giants Now by Chat Sports because it is only going to get crazier and crazier around this football team, and we're the only YouTube channel that's going to update you on everything they do. So sub for free Giants content every day, and let's go big.